in Geneva. But now the 8 billion people are coming together to revive what it means to have human spirit, human heart, and human breath coming together from all over the world to defend what it means to be human. And so we hope to see the whole world there standing shoulder to shoulder and reviving humanity.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you, Andrea, and thank you, Susie, for everything. Thank you. And everybody in Portugal, say thanks as well.
Okay. Thank you. Now let's talk with Dr. Chris Flowers and Dr. Alejandro, two doctors, greatest CVs in the world. Dr. Chris Flowers, he's make part of Naomi Wolf's team, the specialists who's, doing study over the Pfizer trials. And also Dr. Alejandro went to many public hearings around the world, in Brussels, US Congress, in other places. So be very welcome, Dr. Chris Flowers and Dr. Alejandro Diaz. Could you please introduce yourself, Dr. Chris, and after Dr. Alejandro?
Hola, Lisbon. Nice to see you. My name's Chris Flowers. I'm the medical lead of the War Room Daily Clout Pfizer document investigations, just as John said. And under the leadership of Dr. Naomi Wolf and Amy Kelly, we've got 3,500 highly credentialed volunteer doctors, nurses, midwives, pharmacists, dentists, clinical trial coordinators, fraud investigators, signal intelligence officers, data analysts, and many more. We've been studying the Pfizer documents released over the last 3 years, and the information that they revealed has finally been made known. Now, we've published our first book of reports on the Pfizer documents last year, and this year in September, this coming September, we have volume 2 about to be released, which is available on Amazon right now for pre-order if you want to have a go and look there for the Pfizer document investigations. So our teams have published also a peer-reviewed paper showing that Pfizer hid the deaths of some of the subjects in the vaccinated group to make it appear that the shots would protect people from dying. We know the shots were neither safe nor were they effective. They did not prevent death. They did not prevent hospitalization. They didn't stop transmission. And yet they still forced the poisons on us. If we wanted to fly, to go on holiday, to eat in a restaurant, if we wanted to go visit grandma. Pfizer lied. The FDA lied. Fauci lied. And all the other people in there. The European Medicines Agency also lied. They had the same information that has now finally been released. And most of all is our government. Our governments lied. Our media lied, of course. Goes without saying, I guess. But on top of all of that, they tried to silence us. They've taken our jobs away from us. They've smeared us as anti-vaxxers. And so when we met last month in Geneva, outside the UN headquarters, to protest, the road to Geneva was from many different countries across the world. We made it clear at that event that we will never comply, that they may try again to control us with the next manufactured pandemic, whether that be bird flu, monkeypox, whatever they come up next with. But we will not comply. We will never give up. We will never give up. Keep fighting, and we, the people, we shall win. That's my message to you, Lisbon. Please take it up with your government.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Alejandro Diaz, bienvenido.
Bienvenido, Alejandro.
Pedro. Hi, irmão, John Kage. Boa noite, mis hermanos portugueses. Mi nombre es Dr. Alejandro Díaz. Yo soy mexicano, pediatra para crianças, imunólogo, alergólogo. É grande prazer estar esta noite dividindo las experiencias do evento Road to Geneva. It's a wonderful pleasure for me being here with you I really would like to thank the organizers, the beautiful and wonderful Andrea and Susie, Dr. Maria Humberg Hogg, Philippe Cruz, and Don Austin. I was very pleased to get invited to this amazing and historical event that took place in Geneva, that I had the amazing opportunity to meet these beautiful and wonderful people that we have been able to raise our voices. I want to share with you that a year before the starting of the first case in Wuhan, specifically the third week of October 2018, for whatever that reason was, probably based on my experience as immunology, working for different governments on immigration medicine, and traveled the world, and I was starting to see that there were some changes, there were some differences in the world. And I spoke on national radio in Mexico, and I said, I can sense that there's a pandemic coming. One of the main reasons that I share that information is because I'm starting to see this mass movement of people, of this huge caravans. So I started to see this movement, and then a year after that, the first case of the pandemic, this so-called pandemic, started it. And you can imagine, I started to receive hundreds and hundreds of calls from different parts of the world that, hey, Dr. Diaz, you said that there was a pandemic coming. What did you know? Well, it's just common sense. I never like to refer, as an immunologist and vaccinologist, I never like to refer these vaccines, because they're not. What they are, it's toxic, injectable products of experimentation. Unfortunately, the mass media worked together with different companies to confuse the world, to confuse our souls, and to hit the main three pillars of society: faith, family, and health. Unfortunately, it wasn't heard anywhere in the world, and they went into that trap. Fortunately enough, brave and beautiful and amazing people like yourselves, everybody there in Lisboa, in Brazil, in the United States, everywhere in the world, we have been awakened. And this is our time to say yes to us and no to them, to gather, to keep stronger together, to reunite, to retake our values. And I know that stronger, and with these amazing events that has to continue happening everywhere in the world with brave people like you, will definitely make the difference. Thank you so much. Obrigado. It's a pleasure to be here.
Gracias, Alejandro. Obrigado.
Thank you, Alejandro. Vamos passar agora, Pedro, para os ativistas, para a Steph, para o Stefan e para o Adélio, tá? Steph, be very welcome. Thank you for your participation here. And you are very happy, I know that. So could you please tell about the experience on Geneva for you?
Thank you, John. I'm so happy to see you all. And yeah, a big hello to Lisboa. I come to Geneva with Maria Hupmermorg, Philip Cruz, then as Gregory, all these guys I know. 3 years ago, we met together in Vienna at the big media conference there. And we come with Prague for the free Assange. And you can imagine how happy I am that Assange is now a free man. He saved his life. This I won't say, and it's a big stone for down my heart and all your hearts, because he's not a criminal. He's the hero, and we are very happy. I transparent at the stage in Geneva, and I'm very sad to lost my transparent. I go in the parliament in Brussels, in Strasbourg, in Berlin, and every demonstration I make, I lost it. And 2 weeks later, I think I did it anymore. And yes, I'm really happy, but also I'm very concerned because they put a big damage for the free press and freedom of speech. And this government do, and we have
I'm one of the founders of StreamYard. Today,
yeah, you can
to go live. If you're not already familiar with StreamYard, it's a live production tool that you can use from your browser. You don't have to download your guests. One of the great
John, it's okay? You hear me?
That StreamYard server do most of the work instead of your own computer. This allows you to use a local.
We can hear you.
Yes, you can hear me. Someone must put the mic. Yes, and okay, we see what the justice, the U.S. justice, but also the justice of the other Western countries do with the freedom of speech. And so I'm a free and independent journalist in a free and independent media, and we know which is the biggest the biggest pandemic we can have is the infodemic and the misinformation. And this is the reason I come to Geneva and to any other country to say we need free, independent journalists, independent medias to bring all this very important. Andrea said, John said, Maria Huber-Mark said, bring it out to the people. Our point.
That's a coincidence, right, Steph? Because two weeks before the event in Geneva, Julian Assange was free. It's a coincidence, right?
Yes.
I believe in good vibes, in energy, in light. You know, there, Susie, you got some participation in Julian Assange. You know, he gets free. You know, because it's so coincidence. You know, 2 weeks after the event. Because Steph opened made the open ceremony with holding a banner with Free Assange, right?
Yes.
And that's a coincidence.
Yes, that's right. I opened this big speech at the show with this the Assange, and it's a big honor for me. And yeah, now he's saved his life. And
so Steph, was that the last time that the truck, was that the last lap for the truck? Or
the next time, Zeitung.org with our own branding and to say free media, free press. This is what we need all over the world. And yes, this is what we work for.
Thank you very much for everything what you've been doing.
I thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's hear Stefan. We met Stefan one night before the summit in the Lake of Geneva, right? Pedro and with Nacho, and he made this interview, amazing interview. Be very welcome, Stefan. Nice to see you again.
Yes, hello. Hi there from Switzerland, from Kloten, where the big airport is today. We had an art ceremony. It's so nice that people from journalism, from activism, from doctors and culture, that were all honored. So we had special prize, and that's why I'm on the move. And now I'm in the kitchen of this big hall. Yes, it was a pleasure. And Philip Kruse, you know, which is one of the... Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Philip Kruse, he also got one prize today. I think he got the expert prize, and he told me that he was quite inspired by this Geneva action, also from the people from Israel who made contact with people from the parliament. And I was 4 weeks ago in the parliament, and I spoke with the politicians. I made a report, and I also could talk to globalists, because we don't have the left and the right system anymore. We have globalists or anti-globalists. And it's very important that when we want to build bridges, that we stop the projection on scapegoat, and we have to step out of the victimhood. So you make magic things happen. Another point is, now I focus my report on festivals, on parties, on special events, and to find the common cause of different people. So you bring the separated groups together. And here in Switzerland, we have very nice organizations of doctors like Aletheia, of lawyers, and also teachers network. We really have quite good base, but we are too old. The women are not really the front women, and don't have foreigners in our movement. And I think those three things we really need to work on that. And then I'm quite optimistic for this future. But now I focus on special events and festivals, and so we really can make contact. Also with and invite. You have to be in a spirit of invitation. So we will the next big party, and one of the next will be in August, and then we will invite the police officers which crashed a movie screening about Corona in 20. Then we invite people from administration and also local politicians. But we bring them together with Swiss folk music. And also, probably, we name this festival with more than 1,000 people, even Reconciliation Festival. And then, yeah, reconciliation is only possible if you really step out of this victimhood and to stop the projection on scapegoat. And don't use guilt. Guilt is such a bad word. This really doesn't take us further. But we in Switzerland, I think we have a special task and a special mission, because we are the head of the snake. There is not only CERN and WHO and the International Labour Union. We have the World Economic Forum, the Vaccine Alliance. Then we have the UN, but not it's basically the headquarters of Europe. And we have also the headquarters of CIA Europe. And now I will also then go more to Geneva, because here in Switzerland, we are only under us, the German-speaking and the French-speaking. They don't really interact with each other. We always think, yeah, Switzerland, 4 languages and different cultures. It's not really the case. But on this, I will also work. And yeah, and then I think we really bring something forward. And yeah. So, and it was great to be at this Geneva to connect with each other. And really, Philip Cruz, which is a lawyer and very rational, but he really also got this spirit a bit. And I will go in the House of Parliament with him in September, and probably I will subtitle it. We also organize, as a very active activist and elderly man, he organized also a mutual peace engagement conference with the CIA whistleblower Ray McGovern, with a Russian journalist, because at this week where we had this Bürgenstock meeting in Switzerland about the war on Ukraine, the Ukraine party was not invited. And so we have organized, the Russian was not invited. And so we organized a special meeting. And this also, such civil engagement will go on. And just to be a good mode or a model for others to inspire. And this we can do. Good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, our next guest.
Thank you. Thank you very much for everything.
Yeah, Ernest and Adelio, who doesn't know, Ernest lost his son. The cause was the Pfizer vaccine. And Adelio is our friend too. So Ernest, could you please open the screen? We can see you. Are you there?
Hello.
Oh, my friend. So Ernest, you first, and after Adelio, be very welcome to our. This is a launch of documentary. produced per Marcelo Rabelo about the road to Geneva. So be very welcome, Ernest.
Hello,
Welcome.
everybody.
Welcome.
How's everyone doing today? Just trying to get on here, try to connect with the people so we can make a difference in this movement. Me and my dear friend Adelio, we've been out there to Geneva, had a wonderful time meeting everyone there. Unfortunately, we gathered together under the wrong circumstances. We're being attacked by all our governments, not just one. Like I've always said, this is not just a U.S. issue. This is a global issue, and we all need to stand up and fight together. Me being a grieving father, Adelio, also my dear friend. We're doing as much as we can. We're just average people trying to make a difference, and that's the only way we can win a battle. Where we bond together as one big group to fight this tyranny, this evilness that's been attacking us from all different sides. We will win. I'm not going to say we're not. We will. It's just going to take a lot of us to do this. So, like I said, any questions, anything I can do to help the movement, that's what I'm here for. My dear friend Adelio maybe has more input that will help us continue on this path.
Yes, Ernesto, thank you very much, and thank you all for gathering in this event. And just to give you a little bit of background, I was born in Portugal, but I've been living in the United States for over 50 years, and I now live on Long Island, New York. Found out about the Geneva event through Ernesto, and decided to go and keep him company because I felt that it was very important that we show our faces, that we show our disapproval, that we have as many people as could gather, as we're willing to come to get together and show that we are not in agreement with what they do. Ernesto mentioned my son. Victor, he passed away on the 16th day after he got his first shot, his first Pfizer vaccine. This is not a guess on my part. We had his serum analyzed. We had his tissue analyzed. There's actually a medical case study that's been published in preprint server. Some of the comments that were made about Pfizer and the governments and the federal agencies in the United States, knowing that they knew the clinical trial report, and I'm sure I'm repeating information that many of you are well aware of. The clinical trial report that Pfizer submitted to the FDA to request emergency use authorization for the vaccine in the United States. The collection date for the data that they used ended on February 28th. That meant that anybody reporting adverse reactions to the vaccine after February 28th were not counted in that study. But people who reported early on that they were having reactions, many of them were thrown out of that study. February 28th, so they knew on February 20th or soon afterwards. My son passed away. This is February 28th, 2021. My son passed away May 6, 2021. They knew. They killed my son. They killed Ernesto's son. They killed thousands and thousands and thousands, if not millions. And they injured who knows how many millions. Some of whom have recovered somewhat. Some of them have gone bankrupt because the insurance companies were not willing in the United States were not willing to pay for their care. So the doctors are still saying that it had not what they're experiencing had nothing to do with the vaccine. Some have even committed suicide, as some of you may know. So my wife and I, and Ernesto, and some others that we know very well, we are in a quest to do what we can to bring justice to our son, Ernesto's son. Other people we know lost children. Other people we lost loved husbands, wives, and so on. And so we fight on. Right now, as I see it, they have they control all the levers of power. But I see more and more information coming out, and I see a very slight movement in our direction. And I pray that God will give us the strength to fight on and bring justice to our children and all the people that were injured.
We really sorry, Adelio and Ernest, about your losses. I just want to hear from Andrea and Susie. In my opinion, it's very important. Every event we do, we bring, the victims, the who lost their sons or father or uncles, whatever the level of relatives. It's very important because they are the proof this caused damage, right, Andrea and Susie? I want to hear.
Absolutely, because what often gets missed when you start talking about issues, when you start talking about the fight, is that all of this fight is for the people who have suffered. We are fighting for humanity and for the children who have lost their lives as victims of just existing on this earth. This is why we do what we do. And when we lose sight of why we're fighting, we're no better than fighting like they are. We're not fighting them. We're fighting for the truth, for righteousness, and for an environment and world where children could grow up and thrive without the fear that their government is going to kill them. That's what we're fighting for. And if we forget the faces and lose sight of the victims in this fight, then we're losing sight of what we're doing. So although I never knew Delio's son or Ernest's son, I hold them in my heart every day of my life because this is why we do what we do. We do it because it wasn't right what happened. And we can never lose sight of the love that connects us together, even for the people we've never met.
Susie?
If I may interject, I'm sorry, if I may interject, this was purely satanic because if it was a case where they know what they were going to do to humanity, the injuries, the deaths, and so on, then we could perhaps understand that they could do and excuse them. But they knew well in advance, for years they knew, because of the technology that the mRNA technology had been around for years, and they knew all along, and they knew from the medical experiments on the animals and so on. So they knew this. So this was all satanic, in my opinion.
Yes, sir, it was. It was a planned bioweapon released on our world. And like Adelio said, it was evil. It's been written down, and it's coming to light. This is a satanic ritual, an extermination of the human race. And like I said, these people are not human. We all know this. They're demonic. They're animals, and they're preying mainly on our children, because it even said that a demon will attack an innocent child because that's a way to overtake the world. So yes, we need to be in the right place spiritually, and like I said, any amount of yelling. I mean, I love my son. I cry all the time for my son, but me yelling and cursing at the world is not going to resolve anything. That's why I try to hold my emotions and try to speak clearly and calmly to get my point across, because I'm pretty sure you would rather hear me speaking naturally than hear me cursing and yelling And I know that's just going to turn people's heads away from me. I need to grab everybody's heart and their ears so they can hear and so they can understand and so they can open up their eyes, because right now there's a veil across their face. They don't see the reality unless we lift that veil, and then they're going to realize, you know what? You're correct. This is evil. This is actually happening. That it may not have affected you or your family yet, but you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. They eventually, hopefully I'm wrong, but eventually it's going to affect everyone in the world. Like I said, it's just good versus evil. We've seen it in movies, we've heard it in songs, we've heard it in scripture. It's a battle for our souls, really. So, I mean, I'm sorry for interrupting, Adelio, but yes, you're on the right path right there.
It's okay, Ernesto. It's okay.
Adelio,
Yes.
I'd like you to say something
yes.
here. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. I'd like you to say something
Yes,
in Portuguese.
yes.
I'd like you to say something here in Portuguese to the Portuguese people here, if you can, please.
Eu visitei Portugal 2 vezes nos últimos 6 meses. Os portugueses estão, a maior parte, estão completamente convencidos que as vacinas eram boas, foram seguras e salvaram muitas vidas. Poucos portugueses, apesar de alguns terem mostrado, exprimido muitas dúvidas, a maior parte dos portugueses não estão I'm looking for the right word.
Estão acordados.
Não estão bem, não têm informação, porque a informação em Portugal é menos divulgada do que ela é cá nos Estados Unidos. Nos Estados Unidos ainda temos algumas opções de média que nos dá alguma informação, não toda a informação, mas alguma informação. Em Portugal, pelo que eu vi, posso estar errado, há poucos canais de informação para que o povo vê, onde o povo possa ter a informação correta a respeito da vacina. A vacina é muito perigosa, é uma questão de só começar a falar nos riscos da vacina, começar a falar que nós conhecemos alguém, nós próprios, ou uma familiar ou outra pessoa da nossa família, teve uma reação à vacina e imediatamente alguém que nos está a escutar, eu tive isto, ou o meu marido teve aquilo, ou o meu primo teve aquilo, e imediatamente. Isto aconteceu-me a mim no sábado, este sábado passado, quando eu falei com um dono de uma garagem aqui no estado de Pensilvânia, em que ele falou que o pai dele insistiu que a família inteira fosse vacinada. O senhor, que é o proprietário da garagem, disse: não, minha família não vai ser vacinada. O pai e a mãe desse senhor foram vacinados. 2 a 3 semanas depois da primeira vacina, o pai desmaiou no quarto de dormir, levaram-no para o hospital, ele teve uma hemorragia da artéria aorta e foi salvo imediatamente porque o médico de emergência tinha sido treinado no exército americano e compreendeu imediatamente o que estava a passar com o homem e imediatamente abriu
É complicado mesmo.
Ele imediatamente abriu um buraco no peito para romper o saquinho que está à volta do coração, porque o sangue do homem estava a sair e entrava entre o coração e o espaço entre o saquinho que está à volta do nosso coração. E ele, como tinha sido treinado para responder a casos de urgências, ele imediatamente fez um buraco, rompeu saquinho à volta do coração, e foi isso que salvou a vida do homem.
Ô Pedro.
Ora, o meu filho morreu de hemorragia. Desculpem, sorry.
Não.
O meu filho morreu de uma hemorragia igual, só o médico do hospital, das urgências, não compreendeu o que se estava a passar e não reagiu da mesma maneira que esse outro médico reagiu. Ora, uma diferença de um médico ao outro pode ser a diferença de uma pessoa viver e outra falecer. Mas para falar mais a respeito de Portugal, eu conheço membros da família e amigos que estão completamente convencidos que a vacina foi segura, mas também são alguns que compreendem e que falam nos falecidos, nas pessoas falecidas, que não sabem porque é que faleceram, jovens que faleceram, pessoas da família que faleceram, mas de um momento para o outro. Em Portugal, um amigo meu, o filho de um amigo meu, e Pedro, tu talvez estás a par disto, estava a correr no maratona de Aveiro, caiu e morreu instantaneamente. Esse era o filho de um amigo meu. Ora, não sei se quer que eu diga mais alguma coisa ou não.
Não, então, obrigado, Epá, obrigado por tudo. Obrigado
Pedro,
por toda a mensagem.
Desculpa,
deixa se alguém do público.
Sorry for my emotion, but when I start talking about my
Não.
Don't worry.
I get emotional.
Thank you.
Because
For your testimony.
I know they killed him. I know that he should be here with us, and he's not.
Mais ninguém.
We're really sorry about your loss, Daniel. Really lost. You know, I live in Brazil here. Our situation is, just get worse every week. It's incredible. Because I'm going to speak in Portuguese a little bit. Esta semana, this week, Brazil just made the ceremony for launching this laboratory in Campinas. It's a city close to São Paulo. And there was the president, the Minister of Health, and the Minister of Science and Technology, because the new center of 100 days vaccine, they're going to produce 100 days vaccine and the virus over here in Brazil. Brazil is the protagonist of Agenda 2030. It's the protagonist. Our mayor here in the biggest city in Latin America, São Paulo, right? So he just announced 2 weeks ago, São Paulo is going to be the first city in the world to gonna apply the 17 triggers of 2030 agenda. This is a very shame for Brazil. São Paulo inaugurou um centro de vacinas, de produção de vacinas e vírus em Campinas. Estava o presidente Lula, todo mundo. Aqui vai ser produzida todas as novas vacinas e vírus, como é em Wuhan. E o prefeito de São Paulo anunciou há 2 semanas que São Paulo vai ser a pioneira de cidade que vai praticar as 17 ativações da Agenda 2030. Pior, incrível que pareça, esse candidato ele vai para a reeleição de prefeitura com apoio dos conservadores aqui. Então eu estou numa briga aqui com o pessoal para não apoiar quem apoia essa Agenda 2030. Não importa de qual ideologia que for, porque no final isso é um plano do sistema. Então, só para passar para os portugueses, a situação aqui do Brasil, continuam vacinando. O Brasil is the only one country in the world who's inoculate Moderna monovalente. Moderna. They still inoculate Moderna vaccine here. The last campaign were for 70 million doses. That's incredible what's happening here in Brazil. Então, Pedro, pergunta se o público tem alguma pergunta para os palestrantes aqui. O público que está aí no bar, se eles querem perguntar.
Alguém?
Para o Andrea, para o Suzy, para o Ernest, para o Stefano ou para o Adélio.
Vem cá.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andrea. I think I have to be here. I have been struggling since the beginning of COVID-19. Hello, you okay? Okay, John Kage, you know me since Genebra. We have been struggling against the globalism and the COVIDism for long. How can the mayor of the city of São Paulo is able to lock down everyone again inside the favelas and inside the periferia? Do you have an idea how they're going to lock down everyone again, or mandate everyone for the virus again?
No, in the poor communities in Brazil, since the beginning of the pandemic, they never get in the favelas that, poor communities for making lockdown, nobody use masks over there, because that's a different, world inside the city. They got their own laws over there, for example, the pedophily cannot survive over there, because if it's some, adult touching some kids over there, their own population just take care about this criminal, right? So that's why it's different. And many mothers just contact me and ask me, John, which place is there? Your friend recorded, nobody can get here for vaccinate our kids forced. And because I want to sell my house and move to favela, because it's a safety place in Brazil, is favelas now.
And in 2020, they first had the effect of surprise because nobody was aware what is going to happen with the virus. But nowadays, in 2024, do you think it's even harder to the governments to push up the populations?
Anytime. They can't get to the favelas. They can't get, climb the favelas, because that's too dangerous. They got etc. But inside the favelas, it's very secure. They take care about their people, right? So they cannot climb the favelas, even in 2024. That's impossible.
Got it.
Okay, thank you, Andrea.
Alguém mais quer fazer alguma pergunta? Não?
Fala você. Não, Olá. John, eu queria saber como que está a questão da vacinação dos bebês no Brasil, porque, pelo que eu soube, a coisa vai ficar feia. A vacinação será obrigatória nas crianças a partir dos 6 meses de idade, vai ser parece que uma vacina anualmente, o que pode representar um grande genocídio, né? E o governo parece que está pegando muito pesado. Eu queria saber como que está essa questão no Brasil, que é uma grande preocupação. Apesar de eu viver aqui em Portugal, a gente se preocupa porque tem muitos amigos lá.
Andrea and Susie, they ask about the mandates of 6-month babies and under 5 years old kids here in Brazil. And sim, aqui no Brasil, they just approve a technical note and add on National Immunization Program. Eles adicionaram no Programa Nacional de Imunizações, que é o PNI, a vacina do Covid. Por nota técnica. Ele não entrou, não foi nem publicado em diário oficial. This is a law. They even post this law, never spread this. This very high situation. Nobody knows which is the law who's obligating our kids. And, you get in the school, hospital, any place, if the mother get the babies, they just, ask for vaccinate their kids, falando em português. As mães estão indo para a escola e para os postos de saúde. Então, elas precisam da carteirinha de vacinação para fazer matrícula. E aí, quando elas pedem a carteirinha de vacinação, por mais que a criança tenha todas as outras vacinas, eles não entregam o certificado para a criança poder frequentar a creche ou a escola. E aí ela fica impossibilitada. And they just make pressure with public ministry tutelar consular. Yes, eles estão fazendo pressão através do Conselho Tutelar e do Ministério Público. Nós temos várias mães que foram notificadas via WhatsApp pelo Conselho Tutelar e Ministério Público. and they can charge 2 basic salary to 20 basic salary. Eles podem multar em 2 a 20 salários mínimos por dia, per day, discharge per day, se elas não vacinarem as crianças. This not happen in every city in Brazil, but this happen. It's very important we stop this. Eles não estão vacinando em todas as cidades, fazendo essa coação, mas muitas cidades estão realizando essa coação, e é o que o Brasil está passando. Tem o Laboratório Mundial de Vacina e de Vírus, tem todo esse gatilho de coação de Ministério Público e Conselho Tutelar sobre os pais para inocularem 3 doses de vacina de Covid. There was 3 doses of COVID vaccine per year, the first year. Second year, 2 doses. Então, são 3 doses no primeiro ano e 2 doses nos outros anos seguintes. É isso que está acontecendo no Brasil. E for get worse, we got H1N1 vaccine also. E para piorar, a gente tem vacina de gripe também. It's also mRNA vaccine, right? É também uma vacina de mRNA, a vacina de H1N1. E aí tem a vacina de dengue, and we got dengue vaccine also. You know, that's tens of vaccine for our babies and children in short time. É uma quantidade de vacinas, dezenas que eles estão aplicando num curto período de espaço. Eu vi uma postagem de uma doutora que uma vacina aplicada no bebê até 2,3 kg ou 700 gramas equivale a um adulto com 30 vacinas no dia. Vocês fazem ideia do que estão fazendo com os bebês e as crianças no Brasil? And get worse, because the federal government just remove social benefits. O governo federal está tirando benefícios sociais, just like, como Bolsa Família, das famílias que não estão vacinando com vacina de Covid. É isso que está acontecendo no Brasil. E tem muito mais coisas, mas acho que dá para vocês terem uma noção como que é a situação dos pais aqui do Brasil. What we doing now? There's 2 parliaments, congresses, working hard inside the Brazilian Congress for remove this vaccine of National Immunization Program. Tem 3 deputados federais que estão com um projeto de lei tentando submeter a votação na Câmara dos Deputados para remover a vacina de Covid do PNI. Só que isso ainda tem que ser aprovado pelo Arthur Lira. O que vocês acham? Presidente da Câmara, né? Para depois ser aprovado na Câmara, para depois subir para o Senado Federal, para nova sessão de votação, para aprovar no Senado, para depois o presidente Lula sancionar a lei, ele não vai assinar a lei, aí volta para o Congresso Nacional para ser novamente ser aprovado. So this is a step by step from federal deputy chambers votation, even they approved, they get in the federal Senate. After they approve, the president got to sign this law. If he refuses to sign this law, he just come back to the Congress for a new round of votation. It's going to take about over 6 months. Everything is going fast in Brazil. Isso em 6 meses termina se for rápido, para vocês entenderem o que está acontecendo aqui no Brasil.
Obrigado, John. Temos agora aqui o Nacho conosco. Hello, Nacho, can you hear?
Nacho!
Hello? Are you there?
Come on, Nacho.
Can you hear? Hello? Nacho? Are you there?
He's recording for people's voice.
Nacho.
Nacho. It's okay. Pedro.
Mas ele está lá. Nacho.
You may need to turn his microphone on.
No camera.
Are you there, Nacho?
Hey guys, the signal is very, very bad. What? Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello, my friends. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Sorry that I'm a bit late.
It's okay. Everybody's here. I don't know if you can see everybody on the screen. Andrea, Susie, John. Can you see them?
I can't really hear you guys properly, man.
You cannot hear. Okay, don't matter. We just wanted to tell us about the experience you have in Geneva with us, and a message here for everybody in Portugal.
Geneva was epic. I've been involved in the freedom movement for the last 4 years, and it's evolved a lot and it's grown a lot. But this was the first experience that I had, and it felt like it was the first time the movement kind of bridged the international boundaries. So it was really symbolic. It was really powerful to be at the of Geneva and be outside the United Nations headquarters. It feels like that's their central hub. So it was really powerful to bring our energy and our vibe and our righteousness and spread the truth outside their headquarters. So it was absolutely beautiful. It was very powerful. It was unforgettable, really.
Good. Any message now? Can you say it to everybody in Portugal?
The message is keep going. I think we're at a stage in this journey where it's shifting in our favor. Every day, more and more people are realizing what's occurring, and we're starting to become more organized. So just keep going, stay relentless, stay spreading the truth, and just do what you can. Don't ever feel like you are powerless, because us as individuals are so powerful. But our real power lies in our unity. So stay connected and stay fighting.
Nice. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. And thanks everyone who was in Geneva with us. It was a really special moments we have. And we are a new family now. So thanks a lot for everything you've been doing. And we are united as one. And yes, we already win this anyway.
Pedro,
Okay.
before we finish, just for we finish.
Can I offer a suggestion?
Yes, of course. We're not finished yet, but yes, Delio, you can speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you were finished. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. It's fine.
No.
You can.
We should all go out and recruit as many people as we can to join our movement. We need more and more people to come along and to do what they can to help with the movement. It's one of the issues that Ernesto and I and some of the people here in the United States have discussed. People are affected, but they don't want to participate. People lost loved ones, but they don't want to participate. They want somebody else to do the work for them and to bring justice to them, to the injured, and to their loved ones who passed away. But we need to increase the numbers of people that are willing to cooperate towards bringing these people to justice.
Yes, we will. We need to stop as well the division between the groups all over the world, the inside fighting. That is the biggest problem we have around the world at the moment. We know the egos, they are bigger than the what we are fighting for. But unfortunately, people need to show. I mean, people they have a lot of traumas. They need to find themselves first before they're fighting between each other all around the world. This is the problem we have in the moment. Is the groups we have in the countries and parties, politicians involving to try to dividing us for the last 4 years. For the last 4 years, I've been on the streets. For the last 4 years, I've been seeing every single one in this country, and I'm talking about Portugal. I'm not talking about others because I know also about others. But for the last 4 years, it's been divide. Ego. Okay? That is not just happening in Portugal, it's happening all over the world, unfortunately, because the people who are trying, I mean, I'm not against nobody, but the problem is the division between all the groups around the planet. So we have a big job. all right, is I'm not scared about the globalists. The globalists, they are doing the jobs. They are doing the right things, what they're doing. I'm scared about the ones who are saying, are with us on the streets and are portraying us behind on our backs. That they are the problem. That they are the infiltration. They are paid by the governments. They are paid by all these people who are trying to control the global. All right. So the last 4 years, I know who they are in Portugal. Each one. All right. I spot them all from the first day they've been on the streets. I have a guy who is here, Bartolomeo. He was one of the first guys with 40 people, him and his wife here 3.5 years ago in the square here just down the road, before any doctors or any lawyers or any judges or anyone who start to join us. Okay, so I was with him the beginning when was nobody. Okay, but the problem is the people needs trophies in the world. You know, people needs the trophies. It's like the old youth. They want to have the stage. You know, they want to be important. You know what I mean? No, it's nobody important here. Everybody have to be united as one. Okay, we're not fighting. We're not want to fight each other, and this is the biggest problem we have. So since that's why Geneva was only 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people. It could be 500,000 people. But the problem was the groups in Switzerland also who I've been speaking to, like the groups in German, like the groups in UK, like every single one. They're all fighting. When we are in Geneva, I know people in Portugal on my back trying to do like, oh, it's going to be shit, you know, nothing is going to happen. Oh, Pedro is not going to do nothing. You know, they're stabbing me on my back all the times. I know who they are, each one. But the problem is, you know what I mean? They like pussycats for me. You know what I mean? They don't like face to face. So what we have to do here, you know, to the next pandemic, I know they all coming again to the streets, you know what I mean? Because it's going to be very close. It's going to be very soon. So the message here for every single one now, we have a big, massive family around the world where we can all get together and we are strong. All right. We don't going to take any more shit from any people who are saying, you know, I'm fighting for freedom. I'm fighting for their. No, they're fighting for themselves. They have their own agenda behind. I don't know who they pay them to infiltrate in our movement, but that is what has been happening for the last 4 years. So since I've been the beginning, I say we are united as humans. Okay, we don't need politician parties. We don't need nothing like that. That is only to divide and conquer the planet. So we have to have this opportunity of Geneva for the first time in history. Okay, because it's never happened nothing like that before in front of the United Nations headquarters in Switzerland. It was the first time of a movement for the freedom movement. Yeah. It was in front of the headquarters in Switzerland. So let's take this opportunity for every single one of us, you know, to get together as one family, as united as one. Don't matter if you Jewish, Catholic, or black or white, don't matter nothing. We just is human. So I think this is the thing. The message from now, all right, because they are coming very soon, you know, again with the second round. So we are most than prepared. You know what I mean? We're not going to be the numbers we used to be for the last 3 years. We're going to be 100 times more the numbers what we expect, because people are awake slowly, so they have their own times to awake. So yes, this is going to be the opportunity, and I believe what's happened in Geneva, it was the right time for us, the world, special the people from America, because it was very difficult for the last 3-4 years us to unite it with our brothers and sisters in America. But now we have that opportunity. Now we have this opportunity to together. So yes, let's to make the forces, to get stronger and stronger, and united all the rest of the 8 billion, they still awakening. So thanks very much for everybody who has been fighting for the last 4 years around the world, because it's millions of us, it's millions of sisters and brothers like us everywhere in the planet. So yes, freedom, freedom, and freedom.
Ô, Pedro.
See.
Pedro.
Yes, I can hear.
Before we finish the panel, I want to listen from each speaker a message. Let's send a message to Marcelo Rabelo. He's the producer of Road to Geneva documentary. So
Rabelo,
the first.
Send it aqui. Yeah, he's coming now.
Mensagem.
He's coming
Marcelo.
now.
Okay, Marcelo. Okay, I'll be the first. Okay. Marcelo,
o nosso luso brasileiro, porque ele é português, não é? Luso, está a fazer o trabalho que o avô dele fez quando foi para o Brasil, não é? E hoje está a recompensar aqui os nossos irmãos portugueses também. E tenho que agradecer do fundo do coração por ele ter aceito o nosso convite, porque eu disse que era ele, que eu bati-lhe no coração quando falei com ele, eu falei com o coração, que era muito importante ele estar presente, porque são estes trabalhos que têm que ser feitos e não podemos parar. E temos que agradecer muito aqui ao nosso irmão pelo trabalho.
Thank you, Marcelo, for your efforts for being in Geneva.
Okay, I'm going to pass now to Marcelo. Marcelo was with us. He's the producer of the documentary, so he's going to say something now.
Hi guys, first of all, thank you very much for you being here. I have to say to you that you have been done excellent work, because make people become together is very difficult. So thank you very much for all of you that is here on this this event. That was a reason why we just was very excited to make this documentary. And thank you for everyone that was given a word to me when I was in Geneva. So thank you very much. So now I'm going to speak a little bit in Portuguese in order to make people who doesn't speak in English to understand what I said. So, muito obrigado. Eu estou agradecendo a todos eles que estão aqui nesse evento, né? O Pedro, que organizou, e as pessoas que estavam em Genebra. É muito importante unir as pessoas. A gente tem uma tendência de não querer se unir para movimentos como esse. Então, eu agradeci a eles e agradeço a vocês também por estarem aqui. E é difícil no momento de verão português, né? As pessoas não irem para a praia e vir para cá. Então, muito obrigado a todos vocês. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marcelo.
Obrigado. Just like to ask now, everyone is in the panel now to say something before we go, because we're going to start in a minute after when I ask some questions here to the public. Our documentary is going to be, I send you already the links to each one of you so you can watch live the documentary. After we finish, you also can watch live. So I just want to ask the ones who are still here, one final message to humanity. Andrea?
Sure. I think the message is simple and powerful, and it's that our pathway out of this is by coming together. Whoever said it before is that the outcome of Geneva is that we're all a family now, and it really is true. We're connected in a way that I don't think any of us could ever really articulate into words. We are in this together. We are fighting for humanity together. And the best part of the fight is that it's rooted in love. And so when you strip away the fear and you strip away the pain, what we're all doing here is just trying to make this earth a more loving place. And I thank each and every one of you for sharing your love with me and for accepting my love to you, because this is why we're here on earth. That's why we're here at this time. And there's no greater group that I would rather exert and spread love with.
Thank you. Thank you. Susie?
I think Andrea articulated that perfectly. I just have an immense amount of gratitude for all of you. I got involved in this this fight 16 years ago when my son almost died from vaccines, and at 17 years old is still suffering from that injury. I went from the same place of anger, frustration, rage, wanting to scream at the world, to realizing that wasn't going to make a difference, and starting to unite with people like Andrea and you, John, so that we can come together in love and that we can stop this atrocity from happening to other people's children. We don't have to lose loved ones, and to know that you're not alone. When you go through something like this, you feel so isolated and it's so terrifying. But when you unite with other people and you start sharing your story and you start getting out there and talking, to everyone. I talk to people in grocery lines when I'm at the market. I talk to people on airplanes. I talk to people when I'm doing pretty much anything, because I understand that this message needs to get out there. We're so censored. We're so shadow banned. We have to get out there and speak to everyone that will listen. So I want to thank each and every one of you that are there in Portugal, everyone that's on this call right now. Thank you so much for using your voice, because your voice is powerful and you will save lives by using it. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Nacho, are you still there?
Yes, yes, quite a couple of messages to follow up there. I would like to tell everyone that we each have talents, we each have specific skill sets. In the movement, we have such a range of resources and personalities and talents. You have filmmakers, you have musicians, you have people with immense personalities, you have everything that you need in a society to start constructing a better world. And it's about finding what your talents are and utilizing them for the betterment of humanity. And as we're seeing, we are collectively progressing, and it's a beautiful journey. So let's just keep using our individual talents, combining them as a collective to further our cause and better humanity.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Adele, you would like to say something before we start the documentary?
Just a quick comment to draw back on some of the things that were said. They knew what they were doing from the beginning. They knew the damage that they would unleash on humanity, and they did it anyway. They gambled that they would be able to subjugate us, force us to be silent, force us to look at the other way at the crimes that they have committed and are still committing and are planning to commit against humanity. We must go on. We must fight. We must do everything we can. We must enlarge the army that we now have to push back against them. And this is not just individual. This is individuals. This is professionals. This has to be doctors. This has to be attorneys. This has to be judges. This has to be politicians. This has to be corporations. We must build our army as big and as technically competent as we can, so that we can push back and pray to God that we will succeed in bringing them to justice.
Obrigado. Thank you. Is Ernesto still here?
Yeah.
He may have his camera off. Yeah. Ernesto.
Okay, Ernesto. Do you like to say something, a message to humanity and to our brothers and sisters here in Portugal?
Yes, I just want to remind everybody to get closer to God. You have your family, your children. They're trying to take God away from our kids. make sure they understand who Jesus Christ is, and that he's here for us, So, and another thing is, I want the people to remember, not all God's angels pray and sing. Some are called to battle. Be that warrior for the good Lord and Savior. They want a new world order. Let's become the new world order. We need to become our own and in control of what they're trying to take from us. So just like I said, take care of each other and just pray, just pray every day for your children, for your family, and be careful out there. It's a war. It's a war, bioweapon war against us, and we will win.
Yeah.
Just have faith.
We will. Thank you.
If I
Stefan,
may
is still there?
interject something,
Say.
if I may interject something, Ernesto and I, we experienced the worst possible thing that can happen to a parent, the loss of a child. Those of you who have children, tell them you love them every day. Hug them and kiss them every day. Because I know I speak for Ernesto when I say that, like me, hug and kiss his son every day. Thank you. Tell them you love them.
Thank you, Delio, and thank you, Ernesto. To be here today with us is very difficult. We know.
That's why we are here, Pedro. We really feel sorry about your losses, Ernest and Delio. But I always say to the mothers here in Brazil, I met, I have no kids and no wife, but I'm a soldier of lights, and I give my word to the kids of Brazil. I will never let they alone, and I promised them for send back each demons who did this with your son Ernest and Adelio. We're gonna send all of them back to straight to the hell, right? Nacho and Pedro, we're gonna send all these demons back to the hell. That's my promise to you guys, and we're gonna keep, as fight for our kids, for our next generation. That's why I want to ask for support for Japanese people. They are now on the streets every weekend doing huge rallies because they realize it's planned, satanic plan. So let's support Japan. Please support Brazilian mothers, parents, because our kids are under multiple attacks. It's not only biological attacks; it's psychological attacks, it's spiritual attacks also. But God got his soldiers also. Everyone here watching our Zoom, sitting in this bar or in the streaming. We are gonna keep fighting, and please just back off. This is our message for the demons. Back off. Just stop it. We are pissed off about that. We are not complying anymore with nothing comes from WTO. Nothing. Just back off. Stop it right now. And that's our message to all the demons. Right there, Ernest and Delio. Thank you. We are together, my friend. We are together.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much, you guys, to be today with us in Portugal. And let's see if we can join together in the end of September in America together. We try to do our best to come from Europe and all around the world to join you guys in the US. So thank you very much for everything you are guys been doing for the last 4 years. And we are together. We are here together, and this just shows, Geneva was the place where to show our brotherhood, we are all together as one, and yes, it's people like us going to make a difference around the planet. Every day is more people, but every single one have to be the leader of themselves. You don't need to wait for leaders to come to do things. Everybody have to do it themselves, each one, because it's not always the same people have to do the same things. Everybody have to start, to move on and to do their own things, rallies, projects, whatever. They cannot wait for the same person do it constantly and keep doing. No, they have to start in the house, start in schools, whatever, and just to pass to I'm going to pass now as well to Margaret to say something as well before we go, to say goodbye. And yes, thank you very much for everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, and so nice to see you all, guys, all again. And I'm very happy to know that you're still continuing, and then I hope that you will spread it around. And I really hope I can come as well in the end of September. And yeah, I'm just what to say. I'm happy to see you all here in Portugal. I hope you all spread it too. It's this is a work for the freedom for the humanity, and this can never happen again. And we know they are trying, and but at least in Iceland, we say they are getting really afraid of us, and that says a lot. That small things can when they come together, it can make a very big things. And this is what we saw in Geneva. We actually we noticed even they thought they were gonna be helicopters and stuff, but they were hiding. We found out afterwards that Tedros and they were staying at the same hotel as we. They just stayed on one floor above us, hiding. So, and yeah, and they even had some man in suits with something in the ears and watching us. And so, but they were afraid. That was obvious. Very afraid. So that's good. We're doing a good thing. Just continue. Thank you.
He was lucky me and Ernest didn't found him in the hotel, right, Ernest? We were smoking the sidewalk, then the girls just came. Hey, Samurai, guess who is in the building? I said, who? Oh, Tedros. I said, don't let me meet him because I'm not going back to Brazil. And I said, no, Samurai, you gotta wait for me before I remember that.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. We're going to start with our documentary. So I hope you can join. You have all the links. I did send it to you. And we'll see you again soon. Let's try to do more things like this together, because this is very important. Not just few. Let's try to put everybody together in the movement and to start to do more things like this. Thank you very much to be here today, and thank you.
Thank you, Pedro. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Obrigado, Léo, por tudo. Graças a Deus.
Amo Lisboa, Portugal.
Thank you, Nacho. Thank you, Suzy. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Adeus, Adélio. Fica aí a ver o vídeo depois. Obrigado por tudo, Ernesto. Graças, Ernesto. Graças.
In the heart of Lisbon, a journey begins. This is no ordinary voyage, but a road paved with determination and hope. It's the road to Geneva. They are few, we are billions. Lake Geneva tourist site Bains des Paquis. The journey from Lisbon to Geneva was more than a physical trek, it was a pilgrimage of purpose. As the Portuguese group arrived in the heart of Switzerland, in the shadow of the United Nations, the air buzzed with anticipation. The Portuguese contingent, united by their shared resolve, prepared to march alongside activists, scientists, and medical professionals from around the world.
Olá, boa tarde a todos. Diretamente de Geneve, da Suíça, dia 1 de junho de 2024. Estamos hoje aqui presentes para uma mega manifestação que vai acontecer em frente à OMS para dizermos não ao tratado pandémico da OMS que nos vai tirar os direitos absolutos dos países da soberania. Temos aqui vários portugueses, vamos juntar-nos com mais portugueses e para dizer não à OMS, a este tratado. É uma organização, o tratado pandémico basicamente é para dar poderes absolutos à OMS de poderem fechar à hora que nos quiserem e obrigação de vacinas para os países que fazem parte da OMS e para haver um controle, na verdade, que isto é tudo parte de um controle da nova ordem mundial e da Agenda 2030. E, portanto, estamos aqui hoje para nos reunir com todos os irmãos de todo o mundo, vieram de toda a parte do mundo. A organização chama-se We Are the Change, que começou nos Estados Unidos, e com a organização Road to Geneva, que vieram de vários países da Europa de carro para se encontrar hoje aqui na Praça das Nações Unidas, de onde vamos começar a nossa manifestação. Isto é uma união, pela primeira vez na história mundial, todos os países do mundo, desde médicos, advogados, juízes, enfermeiros e outras áreas, para dizer não à OMS, para travarmos este tratado pandémico. No palco vamos ter 52 pessoas a falar, médicos conceituados a nível mundial, Robert Malone, que é uma das pessoas principais da linha da frente, que luta desde o princípio contra esta obrigação desta dita vacina, que não é vacina, e outros advogados conhecidos, Philip Cruz, que é o advogado suíço que está connosco desde o princípio, e vários assistentes de vários países do mundo, como os Estados Unidos, o Canadá. Vamos ter pessoas do convoio também dos Estados Unidos, dos truckers, dos camionistas. Vamos ter presentes pessoas da Austrália, da Nova Zelândia, do Japão, do Brasil, de vários países do mundo, de onde a gente se vai encontrar todos hoje para estarmos presentes na OMS. Da minha posição, já sou tanto ativista há 4 anos, começámos com manifestações em Lisboa e não parámos até hoje. Fiz parte da organização também da Worldwide Demonstration for Freedom, depois fiz parte da organização da Global Lookout, We Are Ready, e agora estou nesta organização mundial da We Are Change, We Are the Change, e pronto, e já nesta caminhada há alguns anos. E não vamos parar e a vitória será nossa.
As the sun rises over Geneva, the energy is palpable. From our meeting point, we begin our march to the UN Square, united in our resolve to stand for freedom and autonomy. Together, we step forward, ready to make our voices heard. The Pandemic Treaty aims to unify the global response to pandemics, centralizing guidelines at the World Health Organization. But this idea has generated controversy. Doctors, scientists, and civil rights advocates argue that centralizing public health decisions could be dangerous. In addition to medical concerns, there are human rights concerns. The global rally titled Road to Geneva, They Are Few, We Are Billions, brought these concerns to light with people from all corners of the world. The demonstration brought to light a crucial debate, the decision on the pandemic treaty is still ongoing. While the debate continues, one thing is certain. The voice of the people is essential to shaping a future where health and autonomy go hand in hand. So what are the main concerns with the pandemic treaty? Each country has its particularities. A single set of guidelines may not be suitable for everyone and may ignore critical local contexts. Centralization can lead to a delayed and ineffective response in certain contexts, especially in countries with varied health systems. In addition to medical concerns, there are human rights concerns. Imposing universal guidelines can violate the autonomy of nations and the rights of each country's citizens.
Today, we stand united in Geneva before the United Nations and the World Health Organization to question the erosion of our individual rights, our freedom, and the sovereignty of our nations. We must ask, are these sacrifices being made for the financial gain of a few who are tied to the WHO's medical policies? The pandemic has seen lockdowns and widespread fear, which may have benefited the powerful rather than the people. What can we, the people, do? We must act now, join this movement, and recognize that we are the solution. Together, we are the change. Let us unite and reclaim our rights and freedom.
Welcome to Geneva. Welcome to Switzerland. You are in the international city who is the capital of the world with the most UN agency and specialized programs. You can see here the World Intellectual Property, the International Telecommunication who makes AI for good. WIPO is doing a treaty to patent all the life of the earth. They just signed a week ago. You have the World Trade Organization, the United Nations. I worked for 2 UN Open Days, so I can speak about WHO, ILO, because the mechanism of WHO and the United Nations is completely corrupted. And I don't recognize any mechanism, but what is happening today, and we did a declaration that people have forbidden us to put here over there with Rainer Füllmich, and which are free Rainer Füllmich, not only Assange. Yeah, so we have analyzed the texts with Virginie de Aragon-Richard, who cannot be there. I represent 16 lawyers in the world from South America, from South Africa, from the whole world. They could not be here. And we have made a declaration that you can find on the website Honest, on ICIC Law from Rainer Füllmich, and on IPSE. So you can go and see the banners. Everything is cropped in synthetic. So we did a declaration on 19th of May. It was on Radio 74 in French and English. And I will tell you the key points. It's 7 pages. It is legally argumented. And the first point, there is a violation within the United Nations of its own instruments, of the Charter of the United Nations, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, or all the covenants of ECOSOC, of the WHO Constitution itself does not allow WHO to take power and have transfer of power. The WHO Constitution and the International Health Regulation proclaim sovereignty, human rights, and they're violating their own rights. And now they are violating our Constitution and our rights. So we have analyzed this point. The nations and the individuals are not represented at the United Nations. Okay, so transfer of power is incompatible. Transfer of power and competence from a state or from individual is impossible. It is incompatible with our WHO, the Constitution, because we have never given our consent that WHO would take power. So within that, it is already falling against we should change our state constitution to allow what they're doing. You see what is a problem? And the last problem is that nobody's mentioning it here, and I wonder if there are not some people with conflicts of interest within our movement who are censoring Filmish, who are censoring me to put my posters and not be part of some groups. So what I'm saying, there's a massive conflict of interest in the United Nations, contrary to member states' representativity of people. The UN and WHO are directed by interest, financial interest. They made loads of money for the last 3 years. You realize this? Yeah. So it is incompatible with our proper rights. And this is, if you take only that, everything that the UN, WHO are doing, signing, adopting, etc., thus no international legal instrument can confer on the WHO Secretariat, including the WHO Director General, and I would say the whole United Nations Secretary, Director General, Security Council, the power to direct, order, alter, or otherwise prescribe domestic laws or policies of any party, or to mandate or otherwise impose any requirements that parties take specific actions, such as ban or accept travelers, impose vaccination mandates, or therapeutic or diagnostic measures that have never been validated, or implementing lockdown that is not in the International Health Regulation 2005. So you understand that? Yeah. So therefore, member states can no longer be bound to the WHO Constitution when private partners guide this institution and the UN, who have our president, that as it stands, any action adoption signed, undertaken through WHO or the UN on behalf of member states and their population, us, will be contrary to international law, will violate the sovereignty of member states and people's natural law. So we declare every document that comes out of this house or any other treaty like the White Bow null and void since at least 2019, if not very long time ago. Get back your sovereignty and refuse the private sector.
Hi, I'm Ezra Levant from Canada. I'm with Rebel News. Rebel News is an independent media organization. Our motto is telling the other side of the story. We've been skeptics of the lockdown since the beginning, and when we heard about this rally today, we wanted to be here. So we're here to report the news, and we also have a petition at nopandemictreaty.com.
name is Montgomery Toms. I'm 19, I'm from the UK. I've been fighting relentlessly against the education system in the United Kingdom since I was about 14 when lockdown first hit. Since that point, I've been trying my best to connect with the youth. But now, suddenly I've come into this environment where internationally we have grouped together collectively to say no to the international health regulations that are being pushed forward by the World Health Organization. It's important that young people, especially of my generation, come forward and say no to these awful global authoritarian control systems and organizations. And with that in mind, I've come today with some of my fellow comrades from the United Kingdom, where we've been also campaigning relentlessly in London against this international health regulation.
Sérgio Tavares, repórter independente, estou aqui em Genebra, aqui bem junto à OMS, à ONU, para este protesto mundial que junta amantes da liberdade de todo o mundo, que vêm gritar não à tirania sanitária, não à escravidão sanitária promovida por estas instituições que ninguém elegeu, ninguém os elegeu, a instituições promíscuas, corruptas, que tomaram várias medidas insanas que violaram todos os nossos direitos. E então estão aqui amantes da liberdade que vêm dizer não à OMS, sim à liberdade, e vêm pedir responsabilidades a quem então violou todos os nossos direitos. E, portanto, venho também aqui mostrar aquilo que as televisões escondem, porque se não formos nós, repórteres independentes, as pessoas não vão saber nada, as televisões não vão mostrar nada, porque as televisões fazem parte da mesma agenda deles. E por isso estamos aqui em Genebra, nesta festa da liberdade, onde nos sentimos que não estamos sozinhos, onde sentimos que há esperança, onde assistimos a este acordar, este despertar, e onde é maravilhoso. Está aqui Portugal, está Brasil, está a Espanha, estão aqui vários países, várias nações, e é este o caminho. Liberdade sim, OMS não.
Bem, estava há várias semanas à espera que chegasse este momento, sobretudo, não só para encontrar esta reunião maravilhosa de espíritos livres, de resistentes, de pessoas que acreditam no amor, na verdade e na liberdade, mas sobretudo porque em 2021, quando escrevi este livro, escrito em 2021, um ano depois da pandemia estourar, publiquei-o em 2022, mas quando o escrevi sentia que estava sozinho no mundo. Em 2022, quando o apresentei, percebi que não estava sozinho, mas hoje, passados 3 anos desde que o escrevi, olho à volta e só vejo pessoas despertas, acordadas, e somos nós, e é da nossa união e das nossas relações que vamos fazer com que o mundo mude. Somos nós que vamos ser os grandes agentes da mudança que o mundo precisa. Nada de mentira, mais verdade e o medo a ser derrotado pelo amor. Liberdade, liberdade.
A magazine, it means instead of newspaper. I used to be a mainstream media journalist. Now I'm a free and independent journalist. And I'm here to remind us all that our brother Julian Assange needs to be free. In London, the freedom of the speech is in prison. In London, the free press is in prison. In London, Julian Assange is in the fucking prison. So let us make all together a huge statement to free the Julian Assange. Free Assange. I say free Assange. Free Assange.
like to talk about taking control of our future. The idea and the concept that the men and women behind those walls will ever change their behavior to serve us is faulty at best. They will always act in self-interest and self-gain. But we are the 8 billion people of the world. When we unite, they lose their power. On this day, we rescind our consent for them to have any power over us. Yesterday, we brought in leaders, 100 different leaders in the freedom movement from all around the world. We teamed up with the Japanese rallies that are happening the same weekend because we are all fighting the same battle. And simultaneously, it's time to transition our fight. It's time to start creating. We can create the future we want. Our children rely on us. The future generations deserve a better society, and the power is ours to create it. On this day, we accept the change belongs to us, and we will move together into the future with love, unity, and freedom.
So it's my honour now to introduce a fellow British activist who's been a medical doctor now for many years, an award-winning cardiologist and an international expert on prevention of heart disease. He's been calling for greater transparency for many years now. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Asim Malhotra. We have a complete healthcare system failure and a pandemic of misinformed doctors and misinformed and unwittingly harmed patients. Why? Rooted in a biased funding of research. Research that's funded because it's likely to be profitable, not beneficial for patients. Biased reporting in medical journals. Biased reporting in the media. Commercial conflicts of interest, and last but not least, an inability of doctors to be able to comprehend and then communicate health statistics. Prior to the pandemic, the third most common cause of death, prescribed medications. What your doctor prescribes for you because of largely avoidable side effects. Not only did the World Health Organization do nothing about this, they made global health worse during the pandemic. They supported coercion and mandates of the most horrific pharmaceutical products in the history of medicine, responsible for serious harm and death to millions around the globe. And they have still not said sorry. The world deserves an apology from the World Health Organization. And why did they do this? Because for decades, increasingly, they have been a puppet for corporate, tyrannical psychopaths. The second largest funder of the World Health Organization, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Bill Gates, who made $500 million investing in this horrific medical product, the COVID mRNA vaccine. But they can only succeed if we let them. And we are not going to let them. Rights are only won by those that make their voices heard. The most important radical thing we can do is a non-violent, just say no, do not comply. We are here to represent 8 billion people here today, and all of you are standing up with courage. So I thank you for your courage. Thank you, Dr. Asim Malhotra.
Olá pessoal, John Kage, JK Samurai aqui, direto de Genebra, na porta da OMS, nesse evento que estamos realizando aqui com médicos, cientistas, jornalistas, advogados do mundo todo. Estamos todos aqui para dar um basta nesse projeto totalitário da OMS e desses da Big Pharma. Né? Temos que dar um grito de liberdade. E o Brasil está passando por um momento mais complicado do mundo, obrigando seus pais a vacinarem, inocularem com esse experimento as suas crianças. O Brasil não pode ser o único país do mundo a coagir, pressionar e processar os pais porque não estão inoculando seus filhos. Então estamos aqui representando o Brasil e também o Japão para dar esse grito de liberdade. No WHO. Como vocês devem estar acompanhando, o tratado pandêmico da OMS está cada vez mais perdendo musculatura. Ontem no Japão tivemos uma manifestação com mais de 50 mil pessoas em frente ao prédio do Ministério da Saúde. Então o mundo todo está dizendo não a esse tratado totalitário pandêmico do Tedros.
Doctors, journalists, and activists, all united to raise awareness among people from every corner of the world about the implications of the pandemic treaty. On June 1, 2024, in Geneva, thousands of people gathered to form a mass willing to fight for this cause. This gathering held special significance, taking place in front of the UN and WHO headquarters, highlighting the global concern. The global movement has led to the postponement of the treaty's signing, exposing hidden objectives and creating pressure for thorough discussion. Should member countries eventually sign this treaty, the centralization of power over these nations could result in chaos in public health and directly impact millions of lives globally.
Billion brothers and sisters. My name's Dr. Asim Malhotra, consultant cardiologist. I wish to tell you that, sadly, you are the victims of a mass misinformation campaign rooted and started by the drug industry who, although you may believe have good intentions, are only designed to make as much money as possible by deception. And unfortunately, the biggest crime that we have seen in modern medicine has occurred from these drug companies with the rollout of the COVID vaccine. That's had very little benefit and is unfortunately responsible for the deaths of and serious harm to millions of people around the globe. The most important thing is to start asking the right questions, and I would urge you just to say no until we can remove commercial influence of the pharmaceutical industry over medical decision making. We must not comply. We gathered here today to basically, doctors, activists, lawyers, journalists are gathered here today to speak to thousands here to oppose the takeover by the World Health Organization over our health. The World Health Organization, while they're being funded by commercial entities, in particular Bill Gates, cannot and should not be trusted.
Hi, I'm Steve Kirsch. I'm one of the world's top misinformation super spreaders. You know, I've collected data for the last 2 years, and all the data shows that these vaccines have killed more people than they've saved. In fact, they haven't saved anyone. And so, please, don't get the COVID vaccine, don't get any vaccine, stay unvaccinated. Thank you.
Individual freedom is far more important than anything else. We need not to bow to communists, we need to bow not to fascists. We need to know and remember that every citizen on this planet is an individual with human rights, to stand up for their right to self-determination, to stand up against illegal government actions that are trying to restrict our freedoms. We in the United States have a constitution that's been violated, constitutions around the world have been violated. We need to get back to valuing human life. Human life is the most important thing. We need to get rid of leaders that don't value humanity. I think we are. We're facing an attack with experimental drugs, with experimental injections that are genes. They're not vaccines. These are genes, and the people are being lied to. Words are being redefined by fascists, and we need to stand up for our... If we individually don't stand up, if we don't stand up in community, then we fall apart as nations and we fall apart as worlds. We should never grant power to those who don't value life. Never let your child get any of these genetic injections, ever. They're unproven, they're untested. The Brazilian people are beautiful, your nation is beautiful, the people are better than this. You guys need to stand up and fight.
Secure for separate the parents from their children. How about that? Okay, I want to invite the Brazilian poor communities leaders from favelas for joining us and save the children, all right? Okay, and let's send a message to WHO. So, repeat it after me. Okay, we all know they committed crimes against humanity. Crimes against humanity. Okay, no WHO. Louder. No WHO. Last one. No WHO. Freedom. 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 Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great energy as well, everyone. Thank you so much.
The organization?
I'm from the Inspired Network, which is supporting this event.
So, we are the change. This is another chapter of the change.
This is another chapter of the change because it's the chapter, this is really the turning point in the trajectory of the world. This full week, the WHA was behind closed doors making decisions and policies that affect every single citizen on Earth. And this is the day where we decide, the last day of their week, the closing of World Health Assembly Week, marks the beginning of our future. It's the day we decide that they no longer matter and we are the ones who are in control of our destiny. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Both sides think they represent the future. Both sides think that they're battling evil to save the world. All involved passionately believe they fight for the common good. On one side, with a sense of noblesse oblige, a transnational elite works to advance a unified, globalized, centralized political and economic world order. A world order based on a command economy rooted in massive databases, predictive artificial intelligence-driven decision-making, and the merging of man and machine to create a new species. Fulfilling this objective is believed to require universal surveillance, propaganda powered by modern psychology, algorithmic censorship, cultural homogenization, and centralized automated economic controls and resource allocation. I believe this will be a digital, technocratic, and bureaucratic hell.
Not only that, but we will not cower or be cowards in this moment because we were born ready for today. We are born ready to speak our truth. We're born ready to stare tyranny in the face and challenge it. We're born ready to be that light and to be that truth in this world, in this time of darkness. We're the ones born ready to be resilient. We're born ready to use every one of our gifts and our talents and who we are to be in this moment, stand in this day, and be the resilient people that we are and resist any.
He takes care of children. I love it so much when especially the pediatricians stand up, because I was missing them to stand up over the last years. Thank you so much for all your work.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, Geneva. Bonsoir. It's fantastic to be here. I'm very honored to be here in this historical moment. And I would like to share this very quick speech for you. Today, we gather here in the Mecca of global bureaucracy to defend medical freedom and national sovereignty. The world's leading health authority, the WHO, sponsored the gross mismanagement of COVID-era health policy, which will have generational consequences. We must not allow them to make the same mistakes for future health contingencies. This treaty Merci bien. This treaty is not a symbol of global cooperation, as some would like us to believe. It is a manifesto of global authoritarianism. We recognize that this treaty represents a trample on our civil liberties and a complete disregard of fundamental human rights. This international organization, which once was regarded as an authority on the issues, now serves only to impose regulations and violate the sovereignty of national governments. They intended to use the pandemic as a pretext to impose authoritarian and erroneous policies on the global population. They promoted and enforced the anti-human effort of mass vaccination, and now want to subject the entire world to this unitary and uniform agenda of evil. Gracias. We must not bow down to an institution led by individuals with no regard for human autonomy. Medical freedom is not only a concept, medical freedom is a human right. International institutions must not infringe on these fundamental principles. We must transform health policies to embrace the vision of true health care, to replace the sick care system that is in place today. I implore governments and heads of states to heed to our calling, to listen to our voices, and recognize that sovereignty as nations, as individuals, and as patients is not negotiable. Thank you so much. Merci bien. Au revoir.
Bueno, primero que nada, muchas gracias por la oportunidad, por la entrevista. Es muy desafortunado lo que está pasando en diferentes partes del mundo, incluyendo Brasil, por este tipo de mandatos que están haciendo particularmente con los niños. Pero quisiera decir antes de eso, para todo el mundo, que esta ha sido la peor catástrofe de salud pública en la historia de la humanidad. Y digo salud pública entre comillas porque nada tuvo que ver con salud pública. Esto fue una agenda política, una agenda perniciosa, una agenda que confundió a la humanidad, que secuestró el espíritu de la humanidad y por esa razón existe una inconformidad mundial en la sociedad, porque día a día nos damos cada vez más cuenta de todos los errores que estas personas cometieron. Por eso estamos aquí en Ginebra, enfrente de las Naciones Unidas, diciéndole no solamente a estas organizaciones, pero a la Organización Mundial de la Salud, porque ellos desafortunadamente desinformaron a la gente, afectaron a la gente y hoy estamos viviendo las consecuencias de una atrocidad que se hizo contra la humanidad. 100%. Lo que necesitamos, no solamente en México, en Brasil, en Sudamérica, Centroamérica, el mundo entero, necesitamos liderazgos reales, liderazgos que tengan un corazón, que tengan a Dios en su corazón, que promuevan la familia, que promuevan los valores y que quieran un mundo mejor para todos. Estamos viviendo un tiempo de convulsión, de confusión social y este es el momento de levantar la voz entre todos, unificarnos y salir adelante como una sociedad que tiene la voluntad de salir adelante con los principios cristianos.
Because the truth just sounds better. We don't need mainstream news. All we need is you. Every one of you sharing the truth when you hear it. Telling everyone you know. They say, at least back in America, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So I want you to think today, are you using your freedom? Are you using your voice? Because if you are being silent, you have already let them take it away. You must now recognize that your voice matters. That we matter, that we are strong, we are people, we are the people of the world, and we are here, present and accountable. Today we have won. Today they've sailed their ships away from our shores that they've been attacking. But they are not leaving forever. They are regrouping. So grab your surfboards, grab your paddleboards, grab your jet skis and your boats, and let's go get them and finish this once and for all. We will never comply. No one has ever complied themselves out of tyranny. If you wore the mask, just say, I will never do it again. If you were silent and you bended the knee, just say, I will never do it again. And whatever you do when you find yourself wondering, what is your purpose in this world? Recognize that you are alive at the most important time in human history, where we are moments away from these people trying to take everything that we know to be dear, all of our freedom, all of our liberty, tracking us on cameras, on every pole, on the streets that we're on. We will either win or we will live on our knees. So when you ask yourself why you're here, remember to tell yourself, because of freedom! 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 Don't ever let them take it away!
When the same body that is designed to protect the people becomes the body that people need protection against, there is a problem. With this conviction, we gather united in this moment. Despite the tragedies and maladies of the past, we still hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, in full recognition that the powers granted to global entities and governments worldwide are derived from the consent of the governed. On this day, we rescind our consent. We stand here today in a proclamation of humanity, a proclamation for a better world, guided by the principles of our Creator, and rooted in the shared values of the human experience. We gather here today to reclaim our cultural identities and personal liberties, and to reclaim stewardship of the earth, which we have borrowed from our children and perpetually maintain responsibility for now and forever.
We are here in Geneva at the march of the We Are the Change rally. It's amazing. It's amazing to get to know people from all across the world. Thank you for so many Portuguese who showed up, and I can't wait to stay in contact with you guys. Oh, well, I'm an Austrian doctor, and I'm also a candidate for the EU elections, and I lost my job when I was speaking up in the crazy times in Austria. And you probably know we already had the mandatory vaccination in place, and we had a lockdown for the unvaccinated. And I spoke up especially against the COVID-19 jabs for kids. And I did videos with some other colleagues and with lawyers. And of course, what happened next, like mainstream media was discrediting us. And you know the story because you had hard lockdowns and vaccination push in Portugal as well. But you know, I knew that at some point I was organizing big rallies in Vienna and in Graz, my hometown, with tens of thousands of people. And we have great independent media friends. But now that I did some events in the EU Parliament with Mislav Kolakusic, Christian Terres, and you know the rebellious MEPs, they said I should run for the EU elections, which I do right now. And so first time what happened lately, which is great, I could speak in mainstream media, so I could spread the word that Tedros used to be in this terrorist organization, TPLF. It's the Tigre People's Liberation Front. I could say that on mainstream media as an EU candidate now, which is great, so I hope I make it there. And talking about what I did and what I do, we had a big Who is the Who rally in Vienna on October 1st. So I decided that day with my friend Philip Kruse, who was there as well, we will go on 1st of June to Geneva. So I kind of had this idea of this rally today, and Philip and the wonderful people from all around the world helped us that we can build this momentum. You guys all came, and so we are having a great rally here with a great statement throughout the world. Yes. The message, and here comes Dr. Andrea Nazarenko. She's my friend. She's a psychologist from the United States, and she built with my friend Susie Olsen-Corrigan back there the Inspired Network. So our true from the heart wish is that people feel encouraged and feel the unity to really make the change in the world. And Andrea has to say something because she had the idea that we declare our independence on rally stage. So if you have for our friend from Portugal a message as well.
Without a doubt, what Maria said is absolutely true. If we want to create a better tomorrow, if we want to be able to have a better society that matches our values and represents the voice of the people, we can't wait for other people to do that for us. The onus is on us to make the change. We really, truly are the change we want to see in the world.
Olá Brasil, dia 1 de junho de 2024, estamos terminando aqui o rally, a marcha aqui em Genebra, que foi realizado um evento aqui na praça em frente às Nações Unidas, ao lado da OMS. Estamos aqui para lutar pelas crianças do Brasil, pelos bebês, pelo direito dos pais sobre os filhos, pela autonomia médica também. Porque o Brasil não pode ser o único país do planeta que está obrigando, forçando bebês de 6 meses a crianças com menos de 5 anos de idade a inocularem esse experimento de terapia genética. Não tem nenhum país do mundo que obrigou ou está obrigando para entrar nas escolas. Então, o Brasil precisa reagir, os pais precisam lutar pelos seus filhos e as próximas gerações.
Now, after the conclusion of the rally and demonstration on the streets of Geneva, the organizers gather for a relaxed yet focused conversation. Their sights are set on the next significant event. A subsequent rally is scheduled for late September 2024 in the United States of America. Further details regarding the specific location and date will be provided soon. Please stay tuned for more information. This upcoming demonstration aims to once again show the world that we are responsible for our lives in all aspects. Losing our individual freedom and the sovereignty of our nations is not an option. It is up to us to ensure that this does not happen. With renewed energy and determination, the organizers discuss strategies to amplify their message, mobilize even more supporters, and create a global movement that cannot be ignored. They understand that the fight for our rights and freedoms is far from over, and the stakes are too high to remain silent. As they plan for the New York event, the message is clear. United, we stand stronger. The power lies in our hands to protect our freedoms and the sovereignty of our countries. This is our moment to make a difference, to show the world that we will not be passive in the face of threats to our liberties. We must act decisively and collectively to ensure that our voices are heard, our rights are safeguarded, and our future is secured. The journey continues, and with each step, we move closer to a world where our individual freedoms and national sovereignties are respected and upheld.
Hoje não tremem os dedos.
Vai ser um documentário.
Hoje não tremem os dedos, é?
Documentário.
Vamos embora, vamos embora.
Fala quem você é, de onde é, o que você está fazendo aqui.
Eu não sei quem sou, não sei o que é que vim aqui fazer. Arrastaram-me aqui. Olha, eu para mim, vacinar sempre, máscaras, confinamentos. Eu acho que não podemos facilitar. Viva Tedros, viva a OMS! Pronto, agora a sério.